Good morning. It is Friday. My days are so messed up from the holidays. So happy Friday. This is Sean. Thank you so much for clicking back onto my channel. So hit that like button, subscribe, and tell a friend about me. All right, so happy Friday. I'm off to a good start. I told you I'm staying in a place of gratitude, and I've had some things that have happened so far, and I'm just grateful. All right, so I'm happy and grateful today that I woke up in my right mind, because yesterday was really foggy. And yeah, so okay, so Erica De Niro TV. Hey Erica. She always ends her video with take care of yourself and protect your energy. And I mean, intellectually I understood that, but at the moment right now it's about application, right? Because going into the new year, we ain't gonna talk about it, we're gonna be about it, right? So she always says, oh, I hate these sunglasses, take care of your energy. And I'm gonna preface this with I feel that we're going into the video because I have not been, literally, I'm not usually on social media unless I'm doing a video. Every now and then I'll, when I need to unwind from what I'm doing at work, you know, I'll jump in and just kind of peekaboo on a live. I'm not staying in there very long. I'm in there for, you know, maybe 10-15 minutes as some downtime to break up what's going on in my brain. But I have not been making a point of really, with the exception of a little bit of what's going on in the world, for like 5 minutes. And of course, a lot of people are talking about the young little girl, Jasmine, in Houston, who, unbeknownst to anybody, reasons unknown at this time, their car, a mother and 4 children, were targeted by an alleged assailant who looks to be, by the sketch, white in a red pickup truck, shot at the car. Mother was shot. The other little girls were hit with the shrapnel from the glass, and the 7-year-old was shot in the head. They were on their way to go grocery shopping. And the frightening thing about a lot of these things that have been coming up, being shot at church, going to the movies, is that it all seems very unprovoked. And the outrage is, any of us could have been a target. Now, it is definitely looking like a hate crime. It looks like a hate crime. It smells like a hate crime. It has all the identifying markers of a hate crime. And they're in Texas, and Texas don't play. So when they do find, because they are out, people are outraged, when they do find this person, I hope Texas does what Texas does. Enough said. But it's getting real scary that you can be doing everyday errands, not being putting yourself in risky situations, because you know a lot of times people want to victimize victims. So this person wasn't doing anything illegal or suspect or hanging around people who are you know, less than stellar in their behaviors and actions. They weren't having an air of criminal element. This was a mother with their children going to the grocery store, going to get groceries in a car, unprovoking, not provoking anybody. I have a 7-year-old grandson, and I had to take him with me to work because it's the winter break and there's no school, and lucky enough that I work for myself, so my grandson was with me. So that could happen to any of us. We're driving. And this poor woman in her hospital bed is mulling over, trying to retrace her thoughts and her steps of what she could have done to provoke this person. Did I cut him off? Did I drive too slow? Like, as if being shot in the car on your way to get groceries is any kind of provoking to get shot at. My condolences goes out to the family. Whew. So, protecting your energy, like, I've had enough. I heard that, and I have enough. I have all I need to have for the day. I don't want to hear any more else, But I was on social media, and everyone is abuzz about R. Kelly, this movie. They were going to have the public screening. Well, not public screening. They were going to have the private screening of the movie. What was it, 2 weeks ago? And people from the show, including Andrea Kelly, was going to be there. But what happened was there was like a bomb threat or some kind of threat where they had to shut the private showing. So it never got. And evidently R. Kelly is his attorneys are supposedly going to slap the network with a lawsuit. But it's out there, and I'm all about teachable moments. I don't plan to watch it. I saw Bondi Blue's video. I don't plan to watch it because the first thing she said is that it's very dark, and I'm just not in a place where I can have that enter in my psyche and it not affect me. I'm very aware of where I'm at right now, and if she's telling me it's dark, I'm gonna believe her and I'm not gonna watch it. However, I did listen to some of the things she said, and of course, as time has gone on, we've heard more and more about R. Kelly's life, and that some of the things that were rumored was confirmed about him being molested as a child by a family member, and he couldn't, he's illiterate. But in the midst of all that, there's this musical genius, which makes people, very conflicted. So, my teachable moment, here it is. I learned a long time ago, long before I had children, that children, whether it's a little girl or a little boy, you need to guard them. I also learned through my own upbringing, because as a child, I used to hate it. But as an adult, I understood. And when I had my own children, I understood very, very closely. My mother never allowed me to go to sleepovers. I was never that child that could go to sleepovers, and never that child that had sleepovers. It was a part of my childhood as an adult for a long time that I felt I got cheated out on because I couldn't go to sleepovers. And I never stayed over at anybody's house, even a relative. And I just thought that was the worst thing ever. But in that part of my life now, fast forwarding to an adult, I understand, realize, and appreciate the protection my mother had over me and my siblings. Because you see, R. Kelly, and a lot of men have said this, that they were molested by a family friend or a relative, female. Now, this doesn't get out, but I remember when I was in the military, and I was young, like 24, and I remember we were all sitting around just having a conversation. I don't even know how that happened. And it was my first time understanding, hearing it from someone, that I realized that this is an issue. And he was telling me, nice man, was married, and he told me that he was molested by an aunt. And I said, what? And he says, yep. I said, a woman touched you? He says, oh yeah, had sex with me. So we're not talking about fondling. We're talking about doing things to a boy. Now this ain't for kids. Doing things to a boy in order to create an erection and have intercourse with her. I said, well, how old was the aunt? He's like, old enough to know better. I mean, she was in her 20s and he was like 9. And I was just like taking a gas because I had never heard of such a thing. And he told me that incident, and it happened more than once, he said that incident projected him into a highly sexual person, and that he regularly would try to put himself in a position to have sex with other girls, older girls, because of the fact that he was a young boy and he was cute. He made himself very sexualized to have sex with teenage girls, older girls. And I don't know, maybe because these girls thought that he was a boy, he was young, that maybe they couldn't get pregnant. He didn't go into detail. I just sat and I listened to what he had to tell me. And he said that moving into his late teens and early 20s, he was just completely reckless and had no sense of value for the women he was sleeping with. And I said, well, how did you fix that? How did you fix that? Because all of that is trauma. And he says, you know, he went and talked to somebody. Talked to somebody that was understanding, that was listening, that wasn't judgmental, and helped him get through that. You know, everybody talks about, oh, well, if a girl does it to a boy, as if that's not a bad thing. And it's not true. And it's very clear. So I understood and knew that boys can also be taken advantage of, and especially if it's being taken advantage of by a woman, how that can propel. You know, everybody's always worried about, you know, the boys maybe being molested by a man. But more often than not, there are young boys that are molested by women. And it goes unnoticed, and it goes unchecked. Even Vanessa Williams, when she did her autobiography, she said that she was molested by a female family member, and that even put her in a very highly sexualized situation. So I learned early on that, you know, the protection that my mother gave me, I gave to my own children. Now, I did have a little bit of leeway, but I had family that I was very, very secure, and we didn't do no long overnight stays. But we were talking about my mother-in-law, and that was pretty much it, who my kids went to. So I understand that. And I believe that you have to guard your boys just as much as you have to guard your girls. I think in some cases you need to guard your boys more, because a lot of times people, you know, parents aren't on the radar. They always think they need to protect their girls. But I protect both my boys and my girls in the same, you know, highly vigilant space. So that was really interesting. So that's all I have. Happy Friday. Take care of yourself and each other, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Let me know how you feel about that with boys and girls, and how do you deal with that. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.